Hey, Elvis has left the building.
Thankfully.
But the Coon Prairie Ramblers came in the back door. Now we're here and taking over.
Right on, brother.
Yeah, it's time to circle the wagons again because the Coon Prairie Ramblers are in the house. Yeah. We're going to confabulate and mind meander, and we got to help us do that. We got Luke, the rebel without a clue.
Still clueless.
Yeah. And we got me, the amiable, affable mailman, mild man about town,
Man about town.
And we got a special guest.
Well, when I was here before, you called me Flash and Flutter.
Yeah. Are you
Wait
still
a minute
Flash
now.
and Flutter?
I wasn't here. You might want to define that.
I was afraid that they would
That's
think
because
that
of,
I was Flash and she was Flutter.
Oh, my goodness. Don't even make me picture that either. Especially.
That's because of my running. I did a mile this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Well,
runner.
this is Flash and Flutter.
You better tell everybody who Flash and Flutter is.
My better half.
Thank you.
Better half. She flashes
Did I
that.
do the right thing
She
there,
flashes that smile and flutters them eyes. Flash and flutter.
Yeah.
I'm more like splash and sputter. If it's me. We're
Yeah, I
glad
can
to
see
have
you
you
now.
back.
I'm Crash and Burn.
Oh boy, I wasn't here the other time you were here with
No,
us.
KC was
KC
with us.
was here.
Yes,
I
he
was
was.
missing that day, MIA, and you filled in, and
Yep.
that's my first chance to hang out with you here. So we are happy to have you.
Well, glad to be here. I had fun before, and I'll have fun again today.
Yes,
we
we
got
will.
some
You better
interesting
behave
topics to
yourself,
talk
Mel.
about.
And I can't
The
remember.
boss is in the house.
I can't remember I tried to do some research and find out what we talked about 2 years ago, but
Well, I can find that here in my little book that I
okay.
record stuff. So I'll let you know before
Those
the
books
day's
come
up.
in handy because it's easier to find something in a notebook than it is on the computer sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
Or in your mind,
Or
especially.
especially in your mind.
Yeah.
It's lost in the abyss.
Yeah. Well, Flash and Flutter suggested that we got to talking about school buses.
Summertime stuff.
Summertime.
Mm-hmm.
School buses.
School buses came to mind somehow, somewhere.
Flash and Flutter's mama was her school bus driver.
Oh my goodness, that couldn't have been
Yep.
good.
My mother, Wanda Iverson, was a school bus driver in DeSoto County for over 25 years. And back then, they were allowed to bring the school bus and leave it overnight in their
They
driveway.
sure did, because you started from where you're
right.
out. If you lived way down in
Exactly.
Fort Ogden or somewhere like that, you don't come all the way to town and get it. You go back down there and start over.
Yep, my brother and I rode the bus, and the first stop was the driveway. And one time my mother left me, even though the first stop was there, but that's another story. That's another story.
Hey,
the
the
story
story-
that I'm going to
Yeah,
tell
it'll teach you
is
to be
about it was kind of a scary at the time,
Yeah.
but it was funny later. It was a cold morning, and my older brother was no longer in school, and so he was out there running around trying to get chores done and stuff like that. And then he came back in the house and he started fussing at my brother and I because he thought that we had gotten into the shed and messed up all the tarps. They were spread out all over the place, and we're like, well, we didn't do that. And so anyway, we didn't think anything of it. And then it was time to go, and my mom went out to start the bus like she always did, so it would warm up and get warm. And she went out there, and the door was closed, and she thought my brother had gotten on there just to tease her and aggravate her. And she banged on the door with her fist, thump, 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 and then the door opened, but it wasn't my brother.
Uh-oh.
It was this wild-haired, wild-eyed, barefoot, filthy, dirty-looking fella. We didn't know who he was.
And that's the day you met Mel? No, I'm kidding.
No. But my mother has a tendency to scream.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And before he could even get the words, "I'm sorry, ma'am," out of his mouth, she started screaming to high heavens, screaming at the top of her lungs, screaming for my dad, who didn't hear her because he was in the bathroom. And then my brother heard her, and he came out. My younger brother and I came out, and we were looking on with our eyes as big as saucers. And my older brother had come out with a shotgun.
Oh, have mercy.
And he poked him in the belly and said, "You get up against that bus, put your hands up." And the guy's like, "Oh, I'm
boy.
so scared."
That's an image
And then
for
we
you.
had a German Shepherd dog, and the dog was trying to bite him.
Boy, he's probably still telling the story,
Oh
too.
my gosh!
He's still
Anyway,
alive.
he was the one who pulled all those tarps out and wrapped up in the bus and slept there all night long.
My
Scared my
goodness.
mother half to death. And my dad finally heard the ruckus and came out. And then he told the fella, "You get on down the road. How dare you get on that bus and scare my family so much?" I wasn't scared. I was just wondering what my mama was, screaming about. I mean, just a fella on the bus. I mean, my goodness. Anyway,
He was a vagrant passing
he
through,
was
or was he
yes, he was a
local?
homeless guy. Yep, and just walking along, but he just frightened my mother because she was expecting to see my brother.
Heard that. Not the wild man from Borneo.
How far away they could hear her scream?
Oh, I will. I'll come to that. Anyway, and then he was walking out the drive. My dad told him, "Don't you ever come on my property again." And then he asked him as a parting question, "Where are you from anyway?" And the guy said, "Hartford, Connecticut."
So that stuck in your mind.
Yes, it did. So we were our neighbors, the Hortons, lived about a mile away, way across the creek, and my dad was telling Mr. Horton about the story and what happened, and he asked, and then Mr. Horton asked what day it was, and then he said to my dad, I thought I heard Miss Wanda screaming. What? Yeah. And then my mama, kidding? She could not talk for a week. She wore her voice out screaming bloody murder.
You probably enjoyed that. Wow.
It was crazy, though, and we always talk about the bum on the bus. That's
was
the
that
story.
Ed Horton?
Yes.
That happened here?
Yes.
You were raised out there at Joshua Creek area?
Yes. That's right.
Okay, I know where they were. I used to went to school with their daughter Lavinia.
Yeah, we lived on Cross Avenue.
All right. Wow.
Yep.
Small world. I didn't realize you went to school here too.
Yes, I did.
Your whole time?
From 4th grade on.
Wow.
I went to Heather Pravat's class first, 4th grade.
What? I graduated with her.
Well.
Made me feel like an old man.
Well.
Oh my goodness.
I was born in 1969.
That was just the other day. Yeah. Oh, you young whippersnapper.
Did your mother ever get on you on the bus, punish you or anything? Were you ever bad on the bus?
I never got caught. My brother did, though.
You never got caught? What'd you do?
Oops, I shouldn't be saying this on the radio.
We won't tell. Nobody's listening anyway, so hey.
No, my brother one time, I can't remember exactly what he did, but my mother finally got tired of it, and she took a ruler from a little girl and spanked him right in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm. Oh, humility.
And not everybody realized that was his mother, and so they were good the rest of the way home. They were sitting there straight and scared and big-eyed.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Corporal punishment.
That was before they started calling the HRS.
That was before they had any radios and everything like that, even, I think. Wow. I don't know, but man.
Stopped the bus and drug him off and beat him?
Yeah. No, didn't take him off the bus. Just did it right there in the front, in front of everybody.
Wow. Put it on autopilot. Just beat him right there with the bus going down the road.
We spent many of, not an hours, but minutes on the side of the road, because if the kids got too loud, she would pull over to the side of the road and make everybody shut all the windows and say, "We're not moving until everybody's silent."
They probably like that. Who wants to go to school?
No, this was on the way home.
On the way home, okay. Because it wouldn't be as effective on the way to school.
Yeah. This was on the way home, and man, it got pretty hot. So it was funny.
Man, I'm glad my mama did drive the bus.
Yeah, and she always made us help her clean it too, which was
that's no fun. I swept out buses.
We had to do the major cleaning before school started too, because it'd sit there all summer and get all mildewed, and we'd have to get in there with bleach water and scrub the whole thing down.
The summer thing through the summer, huh?
Well, no, we did not keep it over the summer, but we picked it up before school started. After summer, and so it just sat there and got mildewed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When I first met you, that bus was really long. It was one of those really long.
I know.
That's right. My mother was still driving then.
I feel like they're a block
I looked to see where she had that thing parked, and I'm thinking, how in the world? And Cross Avenue was just a gravel road, a 9-footer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then your driveway is smaller than that, and then she tucked it into a corner in back of the property.
It's a gift.
Yeah, she would back that thing in, turning, back in the driveway, and she lots of times had us direct her in the back, but then she got so good at it, she would just, it just came second nature.
I couldn't even figure out how in the world to get it out.
I don't know. Did it for years, so.
Well, I got a good.
That's a hard job.
We got time. I got a good bus story.
No, we're down to less than a minute.
Oh, man.
Well, let's come back and talk about buses some more.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a pretty good one right there. That's a good story right there.
Yeah. Hey, how about the riding in the back of the bus? Did she hit a bump or something like that? You know?
Oh, that was my
brother.
brother.
That's why you rode in the back.
Yeah.
No, my brother Rusty, it was when he was still riding the bus when he was in high school, and we used to go down, I think it was 5 Mile grade, and she hit a bump so hard that his head literally hit the ceiling, and he swears up and down that she did it on purpose.
That's a serious bump. Anyhow, well, we're going to have to get on out of here for the first segment. We'll be back in a few for segment 2. Y'all sit tight.